Okay, cool. All right, thank you for coming to our focus group. This is for our STC 262 research class. We are researching the effects of mobile device usage before bed on the sleep habits of Miami University students. So please answer questions honestly and as accurately as possible. Participation is highly encouraged and all answers will be kept confidential. We're not obviously going to share this with anyone. As we want this to be more of a conversation, there's no need to raise your hand, so just feel free to jump in and answer a question whenever you feel comfortable. Okay. So to start, we're going to pass out this demographic questionnaire to fill out real quick. Let me pass them down. Here's a pen. Thank you.
Oh, I have that right now.
I'm going for them too.
And I'm thinking about it. You can pass them back to me when you're done. Thank you. There's people grease on them. Thank you. That everyone's cool. Okay, so to begin, could everyone just take like a second to describe your basic nighttime routine before, like, not your whole entire nighttime routine, but like as you're getting ready to fall asleep? Like, what do you usually do?
Check social media. Every form of it usually. Usually Twitter.
Twitter?
Watch tasty videos.
I go on my Instagram Explore page and I just keep
Well,
going.
yeah, I'll watch Netflix.
I watch
I watch Netflix.
Yeah. Just Family Guy.
Okay. How often do you use a mobile device before falling asleep?
Every time.
Yeah, every day.
You don't?
Look at it like right before I fall asleep. If I
look at
it, then I won't fall asleep.
I plug my phone in and then go to bed.
Yeah.
So I don't have it with me.
Netflix, but I don't like look at my phone ever.
If you do use a mobile device right before falling asleep, how long do you usually think you're on it for?
Yeah.
A really
A really long time.
Really long time.
Depends how tired I am.
It depends on if I'm like talking to somebody while I'm
If you're
like,
texting someone?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that keeps you awake
Yeah.
and like going back and forth from like social media to texting?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that the use of a mobile device before falling asleep affects the quality of your sleep? And if so, how?
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes if I am talking to someone, then I'll like doze off and then like wake back up and check my phone again. So it takes me a while to like really fall asleep.
What mobile devices do you use specifically, like phones, laptops, tablets?
Phone and laptop.
Do you often regret using a mobile device before falling asleep when you wake up in the morning, or is it not something that you really like account for why you might have not had a good night of sleep before?
Yeah, I don't
Do you ever
really
like think
about it?
You don't?
I mean, it depends. Sometimes I am like if I'm on my phone, if I'm watching videos and it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm like should I'm like, oh, probably should have watched like that last episode. Like then I myself, I guess. But
Like you said, does anyone else ever consciously try to not be on your like mobile device before falling asleep because you know it might impact how you sleep?
Like I know I'm starting to go down like the rabbit hole. I'll like plug it in across the room for me and like put it on like airplane mode or whatever.
if I'm super tired, sometimes I'll just turn it like on silent so that I don't like hear it buzzing or anything like that.
Anyone else?
I always plug it in like on my desk and go to bed, so I never like have it with me when I'm going to sleep.
Do you think that it's comforting to look at a mobile device before falling asleep, and if so, why?
I feel like puts me in a good mood before I go to bed. Or something.
I don't like look at mine, but like I can't put mine across the room from me because I get anxious. Like I need it like next to me, but I just don't look at it at all. But if it's like all the way across the room, I have like a really like sad kind of panic attack.
So you can have it next to you and just not be looking at it,
I
and
just
that's
like
okay?
turn the volume off and don't look at it, but like I can't have it like out of the room or something.
For people that do use it right before you fall asleep, do you think that it's like comforting, or is it just a habit?
I don't like to have it.
Yeah, I think it's just a habit more than anything.
It's more like I'm bored, I can't fall asleep.
Yeah.
Like it's like,
Some
or use it as a flashlight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I always do that. I always bring my phone with me to the bathroom.
I feel like sometimes though it like helps me fall asleep sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like watching Netflix will sometimes just help me unwind and like put me in the sleep mode rather than like being busy from the day.
I don't get on my phone as much, but I watch Netflix like all the time before I go to bed. It always puts me to sleep.
So more so like TV and things like that, rather than like literally having your phone in your face, being on social media.
Yeah.
Can you think of an alternative to looking at mobile devices before falling asleep that may not affect the quality of your sleep as much?
Yeah.
Reading.
Puts me right to sleep.
I know.
What other influencers that occur prior to bedtime do you think affect the quality of your sleep? Like what types of things that happen at night might make you not be able to sleep as well?
I have like a test in the morning or something, and I'm up late studying. I notice, like, even when I'm tired studying, I'll be in bed and I'll just be like thinking about all the stuff and trying to remember, and it kind of like keeps me up.
Anyone else?
I procrastinated that day. Like I give myself like the guilt trip.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So I'm like, shit, I probably should have done that.
So like nighttime anxiety.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I guess if
You-
I like go out the night before, I like don't sleep as well.
Yeah.
The night before, like that night, you don't sleep as well at night. So alcohol, obviously. I guess that's kind of like the same question. What factors do you feel affect your night of sleep more so than the use of a mobile device? So do you think that like drinking before you fall asleep makes your night of sleep worse than watching TV or being on social media? How long does it usually take you to fall asleep once you're like in bed and attempting to sleep?
Like
5 minutes?
Like an hour.
Yeah, it
depends.
depends how tired I am. Like sometimes I can't cycle going to bed like really late, and so then I can't get to sleep like earlier. So it's only like a little while. But if I'm just really tired, I'll like take 5 minutes.
Like I live on like a busy corner, so like I always kind of like wake up and people are walking out from bars and like my neighbors are parties a lot. So.
Wake up a lot.
Yeah, that was my next question. How many times, if any, do you usually wake up during a given night?
Like 2.
At least
Two.
2.
I wake up at the same like time every
2 or
It's
3.
like creepy.
What about you guys?
I don't really. I wake up at least once, maybe twice.
Every night?
Yeah.
Either once or none.
Yeah.
Depends on how much water I drink before I go to bed.
Oh, yeah.
I drink water.
Interesting. If you do wake up, how long are you typically awake for, and do you often what? That's weird. I don't really have like.
Question the way I worded it.
If you do wake up, how long are you typically awake for, and do you often use your mobile device or check your phone during this time? Stop.
I usually like, check my phone to see like the time, and then if I have any like texts, I'll like reply to them. Usually like 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Like, max.
Like 5 minutes. I go get up, go back to sleep straight away. And then at least sit on my phone on the toilet. I won't do it while I'm doing that.
Yeah, I try not to look at my phone when I wake up in the middle of the night. And just like go back to sleep.
I feel like if I'm up, I'm up though. I
And
Mhm.
if I wake up, it's usually because I'm like not gonna sleep or something.
And how long do you think you're usually awake for once you do wake up?
At least
Oh, no, it's fine. How long do you think?
Yeah, I feel like if I wake up in the middle of the night, which I usually do, I purposely won't look at my phone because if I let myself it's usually like a daze that I'm awake. You know what I mean? Like I wake up, go to the bathroom, come back. But if I look at my phone, then I'm really awake, and then I'm awake for who knows how long. So
I agree.
I keep in that weird
Half sleep.
Yeah.
Okay, what aspects of your life are affected the next day when you don't get a good night of sleep the night before?
I can't concentrate in class.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I feel like hazy.
Yeah.
My eyes like hurt.
Yeah. I like need coffee. If I feel tired, like I need it, otherwise I'll fall asleep.
Okay, and then overall, just how do you think negative sleep patterns affect your life? Not just necessarily on a day-to-day basis, but like how important is sleeping well to you?
Really, very important.
Top right.
Well, those are
I feel like it's like, it kind of sucks like I don't get a good night's sleep before because like I bartend, so I usually don't work until like 9 or something. So I'm like up until like 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm dead.
Yeah, then you have to be up for
So
class.
Depends like the night before it affects me the next day.
Okay, what am I supposed to do with this brochure? Huh? Katie.
So
She gave us this brochure about getting a good night of sleep, and I guess she wanted us to show it to you guys.
So
Read through it.
yeah,
Read
just
through
pass
it,
it.
tell us your thoughts.
See if anything pops out.
on the page.
Wow, immediate thought
Really
is a great
stressed out being
cover.
It's not good enough sleep.
Mm-hmm.
The guy in the back is
Yeah.
really stressed out.
That is good stuff.
I just feel like there's I just found something really exciting to say. Yeah, you guys posed some questions.
Another thing is like, if I take my Adderall the day before, I usually like can't. Like I just lay in bed like freaking out, and I like, feel like my heart racing, and I just lay in bed. Then, like,
And do you usually resort to going on your phone when you're?
yeah, because I know I'm not gonna fall asleep. So I'm just, like,
Yeah, that's what I do.
sometimes I just like don't sleep at all. I just literally lay in my bed until like 8 o'clock.
Oh, hello.
Hey,
Nice
Taylor.
to meet you. Show up.
My bad.
Not here.
Also, last night he was coming.
He wanted to sleep, which is ironic. Sure.
We have
Okay, good. No, you're not asking the questions
Yeah.
all over again.
Taylor.
He'll bring up some ideas.
Yeah.
How's the brochure looking? Anything exciting on there?
It says how like a lack of sleep can help or like make you get sick more often, and I feel like that's not something I would directly like connect. Like, oh, I have a cold, I haven't been sleeping recently, but like that. I mean, that makes sense when you think about it, but it's not something you think about a lot.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like I like think about it, but I definitely notice like whenever I don't sleep a lot, I notice myself getting sick way quicker. Like, I even think back to like my freshman year, I like never used to sleep, and I was always sick. Now I'm sick all the time.
And keeping a regular like sleep schedule, I feel like I have a regular sleep schedule during the week, but then like the weekends always mess it up, and that's probably why like Mondays and Tuesdays are so hard.
So do you think like being in college kind of like makes it worse because you're always like waking up at different times?
Yeah. Like it's different over the summer, like when I had to like work every day, because I was always tired at the same time and would go to bed and wake up at the same time.
That's
one of the best parts about my schedule this year is that like I have the same like classes pretty much every day, like the same schedule, not like the same, and so I wake up at the same time every day.
I feel like just like living in a college town, like I'm surrounded by like guys who are always throwing parties, so I can never sleep. No matter what they do, it's always loud.
Taylor, do you?
Yeah, do we want to get a guy's perspective?
Yeah,
on this?
guy's
Can I
perspective.
get a catch up of what I'm looking at?
So that's just a little, we're discussing the effects of mobile device usage before falling asleep. So we kind of just were asking everyone like how often you use a mobile device right before falling asleep, and if you think that impacts the quality of your night of sleep.
I would say pretty much always right before I go to bed. Like the last thing I do is check my phone.
How long do you think you're on your phone for?
Probably like 10, 15 minutes. And then, yeah, I think I stay up much later because of it.
Yeah.
Especially if it like buzzes or someone like texts or any kind of notification, I'm checking it.
What else did we ask them? Do you use your phone or your laptop more?
Phone.
And like what sites are you usually scrolling on? Like social media
yeah, like
or
Twitter, Instagram, and then like emails.
That's a new one. Do you wake up often in the middle of the night, and if so, how long are you usually awake for?
Yes, generally probably like 20 minutes.
And do you check your phone during that time?
It's like the first thing I do, see what time it is.
Okay, what else did we ask the ladies? What other influencers prior to going to sleep do you think affect the quality of your night of sleep?
Physical activity throughout the day. So if you're like not doing anything, watching TV all day, you're not gonna be as tired as if you actually did something.
Okay. Do you ever consciously try to not be on your mobile device before falling asleep because you know it might not be able to make you fall asleep?
Nope.
Nope.
Never thought about it.
All right. Well, is there any pizza left for you? I feel. Oh yeah,
Oh, no,
you're good.
I
Okay.
already ate.
Any final thoughts? Do you think talking about it will make you second guess it tonight?
I feel like maybe like tonight, but
Like
it's
it's
such
tough
a
about it.
I know that I personally like lay on my phone for so long that my eyes actually start to hurt before I
Yeah,
fall
right.
asleep, and I like find myself like putting on a lamp. Like if I can't fall asleep,
Yeah,
I'll
like
like
you
put on a
turn the
lamp, to like drown out the
brightness
brightness of my phone. And then in the morning, I'm
And,
like, why?
sometimes like I'll try and use my laptop so I don't use my phone, but then like I have iMessage on my laptop, so
Right.
I really can't escape it.
Yeah. It's a good idea to try and plug it in across the room, though. I've never thought to do that. And then when your alarm goes off in the morning, you literally have to get out of bed to go turn it off. To try that. All right. Well, are we wrap things up? Okay. Well, I think that's all we have.
Yeah, I think we'll
Unless
call it.
anyone has final thoughts, but
Thanks for,
thank you for
coming,
coming.
guys, and participating. You want any more pizza?
yeah, take the pizza if you guys. Oh, I guess you do. So I think you want it.
Happy Thanksgiving.